Okay, so there's been talk of raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. And while there are a lot of good perspectives brought up on the issue, namely against raising the minimum wage to 15 an hour, I think it's high time I chime in on it. So let's discuss who minimum wage jobs were intended for. First class, high school students. Maybe they want a little bit of extra change. You know, shoot, I loved having extra change in high school. Um, Maybe they want to show their parents they're a little bit more responsible. Maybe they want something to add to their college application. That sort of class. Then there are the college students themselves. You know, maybe they want to have a little extra money on the side, while mommy and daddy are paying for school. Maybe they want to have something extra to do that's productive, very respectable. Perhaps, and this is a big thing, perhaps they're looking for something extra to put on their resume. You see, I know if I was employing somebody and it came down to oh, by the way, before I go into this any further, this only works if you're majoring in something that's intended to get you a job. I.e., you're majoring in something that's going to give you marketable skills. If you're majoring in something like humanities or gender studies or something like that, just drop out of college and save yourself the money. I'm just going to tell you that much right now. But yeah, say I was hiring an engineer for my company. I had the choice between the straight A student, no work experience, or the C student, but this person has experience, working at McDonald's as well. I think I'd go with the person with work experience. Because this person shows me not only do they know in theory or have an understanding in theory of what they're doing, but they also have an understanding of how the workforce works. They understand that, you go in and you work a job and you get paid for the job. You get paid for your labor. Let's discuss, another category. Maybe you just graduated from high school, you didn't go to college, and maybe your aspirations are a career at McDonald's. Obviously not just as a burger flipper for your entire life, but you want to work up your way up to a shift supervisor, then a manager for a store, then a regional manager, that sort of thing. Okay. But you're not supposed to stay in that job as a burger flipper for the rest of your life. You're supposed to advance, but guess what? To do that, you've got to show you're willing to work, you're willing to learn more skills, and you're willing to be an asset to the company. But if you want to do the minimum, well, hell, you're going to get a minimum paycheck. What minimum wage jobs were not intended for? They certainly weren't intended for you to raise a family on. No, they were not. I don't know why more people don't understand this. I'll get into this a little later. They weren't intended on you making a living on. They weren't. Sorry. They weren't intended to provide you a comfortable lifestyle. They just weren't. And for those of you who sit there and say how hard it is to live on a minimum wage, well, guess what? what do you think you should do? Maybe learn more marketable skills. Maybe go out and show your employer you're worth more than minimum wage. Try to get promoted within the company. That sort of thing. Keep working at the job you got until you can find a better job. Learn other skills so that you can find a better job. You're not supposed to sit there stagnant minimum wage for your entire life. And if you do, that's your fault. And on to the whole, well, you just don't know how hard it is to raise a family on minimum wage. Well, you know what? If that's your plan, is to raise a family on minimum wage, you're a shitty individual. And you need to have your children taken away from you. Your significant other, be a he or she, if they are dumb enough to stay with you, well, they get what they deserve. That's all I'm going to say on that one. And you think I'm joking, you think I'm lying. Well, you just don't understand how the market force works. You see, your employers pay you for the labor you're worth. That's all. Your employer's out there to make money. And, the whole, I just join a union or vote Democrat. Well, let me show you how this is going to turn out for you real quick. Yeah, sad, isn't it? You really thought they were that lazy and stupid? Come on now. These people are heads of McDonald's. They're multimillionaires. You don't think that they got to that position by being lazy and stupid, did you? You did? Well, that's precious. So, why aren't you a multimillionaire instead of working a minimum wage job? And the fucked up thing is that I do feel sorry for some of the people who are going to lose their job over this, because there are some people that literally are hardworking and intelligent enough to know that the company making its profit is the point of the company. And they are smart enough to know that they've got to do their part to make sure the company survives and makes a profit in order to ensure their job security. And half-wits like you are fucking them over. Do you really, honest to God, believe what the Democrat politicians who are running for office had to tell you? You thought they had your best interest in mind? Well, think again. All you are to them is another vote. Sorry, that's just reality there, dude. Or dudette. You think the labor unions, you think they really care about you? Or are they more concerned about trying to get you in their union and trying to get you to pay their union dues? No. It must be because they have your best interest in mind. And if you believe that one, I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona I'd like to sell you. Speaking of the destructive force of unions, let me show you who else suffered. Now I know that Hostess didn't have to close down because of a raise in minimum wage. but the fact that they couldn't come to an agreement with a bakers union pretty much cut out their workforce in the area where they needed it, because the bakers union wouldn't be reasonable about their wages. So the company had to close down, costing a lot of people their jobs, to include unions, members of that bakers union. And I hate to break it to you, but you force employers to pay $15 an hour in minimum wage via government force, you're going to see headlines like that on some companies. Sorry, that's reality. I mean, companies might not be able to pay their employees that much. You want to know another side effect you're going to see? Well, let me show you. All right, so this article is obviously not related to a raise in the minimum wage. Neither are the layoffs in this article. However, not entirely irrelevant either. What do you think the company's going to do when they have to start paying their workers more, their lowest paid workers more, who, quite frankly, their labor doesn't justify, say, $15 an hour? And you got an imaginary company, and their two lowest paying jobs are job A and job B. Those two are the only types of jobs that are below $15 an hour. Job A gets paid $10 an hour. Job B gets paid $8 an hour. What do you think they're going to do? No, I can tell you what they're going to do. It's not too hard to figure out. They're going to take all the responsibilities of job B, put them on job A. Raise job A up to $15 an hour. Let go of everybody on job B, and possibly in job A who can't handle the responsibility. And then all the people in job B that got let go, and possibly some of those in job A, sitting on the couch wondering how they're going to pay next month's rent, thinking, God, I wish I had my $8 or possibly $10 an hour back. And of course, all the ones that advocated for the raise of the minimum wage to $15 an hour, well, they probably ain't going to learn from that. They're probably going to sit there and think, well, God dang, we need another Democrat in office. We need another Democrat in office to give us stuff, or, because it's just so hard to survive in this world. Republicans messed up the economy. And that's just that, I mean, and for those of us who are saving it for retirement, well, hell, that affects us too. Let me show you something else that's unrelated but not irrelevant. Again, not related but not irrelevant either. You see, when you take a company's profit away, you devalue their stock and you decrease the dividends paid out. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, only the rich, evil Mr. Burns types own stock. You have a 401k. You know somebody has a 401k if you don't. Or they the evil rich Mr. Burns types. Well, nah. And guess what? I don't think I've seen any 401k plan that doesn't have at least some stock in it. Moreover, does your company have an employee stock purchase plan? If they do, why aren't you taking advantage of it? I take advantage of the employee stock purchase plan my company offers. That's more money for my golden years. And even if they don't, it'd behoove you to consider investing in at least some stock. Yeah, preferably the company you work for. Because as if your job and your paycheck wasn't enough to make you want to do better for your company so they do better, aka job security, you know, prospects of promotion and stuff like that. You know, having some ownership in the company, and that's what stock is an even greater incentive. You know? Makes you want your company to do better. Because you are a part owner of that company when you have stock. And if you don't have a 401k and you're over the age of 25, or, well, I'll go even further than that, 30, okay? You don't have a 401k and you're over the age of 30, what do you think you're going to do with your golden years? You plan to work all your life? Let's put it this way. There's going to come a time and day where you can't work a full-time job. I mean, even after you retire, there are a lot of people that get part-time jobs, but that's not going to support you through retirement. You got to have at least some plan for retirement. 401k is a good place to start. Investments outside the 401k, saving up money, even for an emergency situation, is another good thing to think about. I mean, even if you have your 401k set up and you got a good retirement plan set up, you got a little extra money to burn. Instead of burning the money, put it into stock. And increase that money coming into you. But again, it makes it a lot harder when you're doing things to hurt the profits of your company that you work for, or the company that you have stock in. Having ownership, which is what stock is in a company, is not too far-fetched for the average person. Again, another reason why raising the minimum wage is a bad idea. Okay, so as I said, that's $15 an hour, and the unions are kind of stuck hip and hip. Not necessarily because the unions give a damn about the minimum wage worker, though. A little secret is that the unions oftentimes negotiate their contracts in factors of their lowest paid worker being a factor of how much the minimum wage is. Meaning, when they negotiate the contract, they say, okay, well, our lowest paid worker can't be paid less than X amount of times the minimum wage. Now, why do they do that? Because they take a certain percentage of even the lowest paid workers' paycheck towards their dues, which is money going to the unions. So it only makes sense that their lowest paid worker gets paid more. In fact, all of their workers get paid more. It just means more money coming into them. You know, so for all the bitching and moaning about the corporations and how they're only motivated by money, well, same goes with the unions, huh? Strange world, isn't it? You know what? And I'm more than willing to bet that most everybody, including the people who say, well, corporations only care about money and that makes them evil, themselves are motivated by money to an extent. In fact, probably more so of an extent than the average human being. You know, projection in action. Which brings up a few more points I wanted to point out. You see, not only are there EMTs that work for $9 an hour, there are also some police departments that only pay their officers $9 an hour. And you don't see any of these EMTs or police officers in the Fight for 15 protests. These people are far more honorable. And these people have a far more stressful and much more dangerous job than these Fight for 15 people. That's the first point I wanted to bring up. So, again, while you're flipping burgers thinking you deserve $15 an hour, look at what other people go through that don't make $15 an hour. And the second point I wanted to bring up is that when you do that, when you raise minimum wage to $15 an hour, every time you raise minimum wage, you kill the pay raises that other people have worked to earn. Somebody started off at maybe the minimum wage, what is it, $7.25 an hour now, and then worked their way up to $8 an hour, then $9 an hour, then $10 an hour. Well, one foul swoop, you take away all the hard work they did to earn that. $8, $9, $10 an hour. You know, and you put them back at the bottom again. Good job, assholes. I'm sorry, I know I'm doing this on the fly with a bunch of, vodka, soda, and me, and everything. But I found that picture, and it just illustrated the point I wanted to make at the beginning of the video just perfectly. These minimum wage jobs aren't career jobs. They're kids' jobs. And people who are just starting off, basically. That's their jobs, and I worked a minimum wage job at one point in life, and I'm going to say for all of those who do work a minimum wage job because they're starting off, just keep working. You will grow. You will get out of that if you put your mind to it. If you want to be like some of these, well, like pretty much all these Fight for 15 people, well, the way I see it, the 5 for 15 people haven't grown up. And the minimum wage could be $15 an hour. It could be, hell, $20 an hour, and you're going to be fighting for $25 an hour or $40 an hour. You know? Because at the end of the day, minimum wage is minimum wage. And the more you raise it, the more you're going to put people back at square one. And the more you're going to be back at square one. Or square zero. Depending on your attitude. And depending on your worth of the company you'll work for. Well, let me respond to that one. I got it. Yeah, I mean, this is totally related. And I got to say on that one is that if the work ethic of the minimum wage worker had kept up with the work ethic of the above minimum wage worker, we'd all have better goods and services than we did in the 90s, wouldn't we? Wouldn't have to wait 10, 15 minutes on a burrito from Taco Bell, whereas I don't remember having to wait 5 in the 90s. You know, and they certainly get the order right. I mean, if the work ethic had kept up. Oh, hell. Maybe these fighting for 15 types wouldn't be fighting for 15 if their work ethic had kept up, you know, or even stayed pace with those in the 90s. Maybe they wouldn't be making minimum wage anymore. Food for thought. Let me respond to that sign real quick. You're worth more, special snowflake. Here's a challenge to you. Tell your boss, hey, look, man, you know, I'm worth more. I can find a job that's going to pay me $15 an hour. Look, I expect $15 an hour. If not, I got to let you go, you know. I gotta move on. See what your employer tells you. If your employer tells you, hey, see ya, it's probably a good sign you weren't worth $15 an hour. Just saying. You know, if you can't go up to your boss and say, hey, look, I'm worth $15 an hour, you know, you need to pay me this, otherwise I'm out the door. The odds are you weren't worth $15 an hour if your boss says, no, see ya. You know, now if your boss says, hold on a second here, you know, let's talk things over. You know, I can spare $15 an hour to keep you. That would be a different story. You know, again, you got to make sure, is this the want in you talking, or is this the reality? And I guarantee you, with 99% of the fighting for 15 crowd, it's the want talking, not the reality talking. I think I'm going to wrap this video up with that here. Y'all take her easy. I hope you'll take things that have been said in this video to heart. And for those of y'all who been on the fence, I I hope you reconsider your position here. And maybe understand why raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour is a bad idea.